And if there is a country that has committed unspeakable atrocities in the world, it is the United States of America. They don't care. They don't care for human beings. 57 years ago, when Japan was retreating on all fronts, they decided to drop the atom bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Killed a lot of innocent people who are still suffering from the effects of those bombs. Those bombs were not aimed against the Japanese. They were aimed against the Soviet Union to say, look, this is the power that we have. If you dare oppose what we do, this is what is going to happen to you. Because they are so arrogant, they decided to kill innocent people in Japan who are still suffering from that. Who are they now to pretend that they are the policemen of the world?
And of course, the last thing I want to say before I inflict my speech on you is the issue of leveraging our comparative advantages. The time has come for Africa to unashamedly take advantage of the natural resource endowment that God has given us. In the colonial era, we had colonial masters, we had no say, and so they mined the gold, they took it away, they developed the palm plantations, took the palm oil away, they took the diamonds away, took everything away. And when we gained independence, Nkrumah warned us and said colonialism might have been defeated, but we're entering the era of neo-colonialism. They don't need to bring a governor to sit here, but they still would, from wherever the colonial headquarters are, control your resources and be able to still derive the benefits as if they had colonized you. And that exactly is happening. Post-colonialism, we didn't have technology, we didn't have capital, we didn't have the human resource. And so foreign companies come and take huge concessions and they sign it off for a pittance. And they run those, concessions to the benefit of the colonial metropolis. Today, I think that in Africa, we've developed a core of human resource that is capable of also taking advantage of some of these resources. We've developed the technology, we have the technology to be able to do whatever any of these big conglomerates are doing. And the capital is available in the world to mobilize, to be able to do the same things. And that is why recently we had a little issue which we have resolved with one of our mining companies whose lease had expired after 30 years. And it was our desire to take it over and use Ghanaian expertise to be able to also exploit that resource and let the benefits remain in our country.
This thing of territorial threats, we know them here. We've got an army base here in Botswana. What is America doing here in Botswana? Why is Africa not in American borders? What do you call that? And you come and say imperialism and colonialism is finished. When people expand their territorial expansion through putting military bases at our borders. There's a military base here. A study has been conducted that a fighter jet that moves from that army base to the Union building will not take less than 2 minutes to bomb the Union building. If a war is declared with America, America does not have to assemble any resource from Washington or anywhere else to come here. They are already here. What do you call that? It's democracy. It's free wealth. We must celebrate that and say, no, imperialism is no longer there, it's in our head. We understand what Putin is fighting against because we have it here. Here. What is it doing here? We never went to Asia. We never went to Europe. We never went to America. We are here. We don't establish bases anywhere. Why should you establish bases in military bases in our continent? And when we speak, it's called old-fashioned politics. That they are out of fashion. There's no such a thing as imperialism. When imperialism is breathing on our neck, yeah, we're not going to allow that. We are going to expose that American military base here all the time in the platforms we get and educate our people that this is exactly what Putin is fighting against. America will not allow that. That Russia must go and establish a military base in Cuba with missiles facing the USA. They won't allow that. So we must not be allowed, we must not be asked to accept the things that you will not accept if they were to happen in your countries. And that's what we're talking about when we speak about NATO and peace not going together. So, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't mean enmity. We're not enemies. We engage robustly. Our policies can be challenged the same way we challenge your policies. We are open for engagement. South Africa is open for investment in our own terms. We know what multinational companies have done to our economy, coming to milk our resources, leaving us dry. The case in point is a place called Marikana. Just go and see what the London mine did there and what Sibanye is doing there. To date, with a huge operation of a mine just next to it, there is no water, there's no tar road, there's no electricity, there are no houses, no proper schools. People are squashed in one place. Yet, a stone thrown away, there is a mine. We cannot allow that to continue as is under the EFF. We want a mine that will benefit our people. Why do people say, no, the state must not own a bank in South Africa? Because there are private banks. Why do you need a state bank? Because they want to continue to exploit people and charge them high interest. Why do you say you don't want the state to be in the bank, but the state is in hospitals? There is private hospitals, there is state hospitals. There is private schools, there is state schools. There must be private banks and state banks. And the private bank, the private hospitals and schools and private everything, even where the state participate, the private sector still maximize profit, even when there is an option of a state. We will